Hey, friend. Welcome to Ediscover Tea, from critique to change, sharing stories and expanding possibilities for the future of work in e-discovery, a podcast that brews up positivity and progress. I'm Becky, and along with my co-conspirators, Renee and Jill, we're here to pour out practical advice and inspiring conversations that illuminate what's really happening out in e-discovery land. In each episode, we'll uncover the truths and realities of e-discovery, shining a light on what's working, what needs improvement, and how we can drive meaningful change from the grassroots level. Our goal is to inform, uplift, and empower you with insights and strategies. Together, we can create a movement towards a more innovative, compassionate, and effective legal landscape. So grab your favorite cup, sit back, and let's infuse your day with positive energy and actionable wisdom. This is ediscover Tea.
It's a lie.
Mm-hmm.
I think for me, like one of the most troubling things is when I started to realize, like, as I moved up, how people who did voice like concerns or whatever, how as like basically a PM team, we were just couched as a bunch of complainers. Like it was like a joke. Like all they do is complain. And I'm sure that like people who are watching this know what I'm talking about. Like that
Back in
leadership.
my day, I
Yeah.
used to walk 3 miles to school in the snow barefoot.
Right.
That kind of thing.
Yeah.
Mm.
But also like all they do is complain. And it's like but but please try to get curious. Like when I'm coaching people and I'm specifically coaching like new managers, my biggest piece of advice to them is instead of jumping to judgment and if somebody brings something to you and or they're not doing something as fast as you want to or whatever, instead of like immediately like judging and placing like your own expectations of what you would expect from yourself on other people, just get curious. Just get curious. Ask
Mm-hmm.
questions. Be curious about their experience. Like there are we live it's 2024 and we live in constant chaos in this world, and that has rippled over into corporate America. And so industries like e-discovery that were already toxic have become even worse. And I will say, just taking a step back, I haven't been in e-discovery as long as you guys were in it. I can tell you that 20 years ago, when I entered the legal field, from coming from I was a national account representative. I did a lot of client facing sales and customer service and things like that at Verizon. And when I went into the legal field, I thought, finally, I'm gonna be at a place where like there's no HR, there's no harassment, like people are respectful, they know the laws, they know not to like violate your workers' rights and all of that. Like it's very good, it's going to be very progressive and like above board. Holy shit, was I shocked. Like to get in there and realize like, oh, so it's not like I'm not back on the phones like when I was in college and customer service getting cussed out by some rando that I can actually hang up on. No, I'm actually getting cussed out in my face by some partner because he didn't know how to use his words right and asked for me to research something right the first way. So I gave him a bunch of research that didn't match up. And it's like, well, that's not what you asked me to look for, though. Dude cussed me out in my face and I cried because it was the first time I was like, I think I made a huge mistake. I had a really good career in telecommunications. And I left that coming to legal because I was very interested in it. I loved the law and I thought it was going to be like safe working environment. And I found out like actually the legal field is about 15 years behind everyone else. They really are. And matter of fact, a lot of the lawyers know how to get around laws. They don't put it on paper. He cussed me out in my face. He didn't do it over Slack.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I don't have any proof because he was abusing me, but I have no proof because it
Here's
was
the
verbal.
here's the problem with all of that, right?
Hmm.
Um, when I was growing up years ago, and people would say sticks and stones may break your bones, but words will never hurt me. That's a lie. Words
Yeah.
hurt. Um, I I, you know, get real. I have been so gaslit and so broken at work. Like I looked at pill bottles funny.
Hmm.
I shouldn't be feeling suicidal because
Right.
somebody needs their production by 3.
Hmm.
Um, that shouldn't happen. I shouldn't feel like my life is worthless because um, leadership doesn't respect the frontline people who make a fraction of what they earn.
Yeah.
And I shouldn't feel like um, I am less than because the people that I am that report to me are from an organizational standpoint at the bottom rung, right? And I never really did understand that because without the project managers, like, organizations can't get repeat business. So that never really did make any sense to me. Uh, but the reality is I got to big up my people in data operations and evidence, intake, all these people who are voiceless. If I can just go back to Jodie Foster for a second. This chick, when, she thanked the crew, she thanked the indigenous people who just let them listen to their stories. These are people that if you watch the show, you're never going to see. You're never going to talk to them. You're never going to, know how they felt at work, right? But the end product was so beautiful. You got to know she didn't do it herself. She didn't hold the camera and act at the same time, right? So when your case is won or lost, or you have successfully produced to the government or to whomever, and your firm, celebrates that, you didn't do it alone. These people that you never see, that you're never going to talk to, that were, for people who lead like I was, and want to again at some point. Um, it's my job to make sure that they do their job properly so that you can have that success. But they have to feel good about themselves in order to do good work. They
Hmm.
have to feel like they're part of a team, at least internally, that deems them worthy enough to say, if they say to you, I need to go to my kids' soccer practice, that's got to be okay. It can't just be, what, this person is not, this person not down for the cause because when I called them at 9 o'clock at night, they didn't pick up the phone. No, that's not a thing. That's not a thing.
This is going
Life
back to
matters
my bedtime at
too.
8:30, right? Like,
Right.
I'm down. I'm down. I'm going to work really hard, but I'm going to do it during regular hours.
Yeah.
Okay?
I think one
So,
of the things that what like the refrain that I hear, or the pushback that I hear when you say that is like, but like we can't do that. Like the clients have expectations and we have to make money, and this is how it's always been and this is what they expect. And to that I say ediscovery is full of brilliant people, extremely smart, highly creative. I mean, think about like how creative people in this industry could actually be if they were well rested. Like it would be
yeah.
off the charts. It- like this is the best idea you can come up with. Oh, we've always done it this way, so we have to keep doing it this way. Like you're smarter than that.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Like just try.
Mhm.
Try. Like, stop putting band aids on this. Stop acting like it's not happening. Stop dismissing it and saying people are weak. Stop acting like, it's normal and this is the cost of doing business. Say that this isn't good enough. It's not good enough. You deserve better. Everyone in the industry deserves better, right? Like,
Yeah.
but people have to really believe that. And I don't know. I think the jury's out on whether people actually believe that. I think whether or not we get like any kind of, audience for these conversations will tell us whether they're ready or whether they believe it. I don't know. I'm not sure. And I think that that's part of the reason why people who have this perspective don't can't survive, cannot survive in leadership and e-discovery
Mm-hmm.
because like there's so few of them. And so like I really want to put a challenge out there. All you leaders, all you CEOs, like whoever's listening to this, and you're like, oh, I'm the big man on campus. Like I'm running this shit. Like we know what we're doing. We're gonna be the next big thing. I want to challenge you. Like, how good can you really be? Are you gonna be old model good? Or are you gonna be
Yeah.
new model good? Are you gonna be old paradigm good? Are you gonna be new paradigm good? Right? Because it's very obvious where this is going.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, show us what you got.
Oh yeah,
I
and
know
by the
there's
time it gets there, you're not going to have any veteran people to
no,
train your new people.
no,
We're all going to be
mm-mm,
gone because
mm-hmm,
you get to a certain point in life, I'm not dealing with this anymore. Like
mm-hmm,
I'm too old.
mm-hmm,
I still got a lot of life, a lot of years left in me. I'm just getting started, baby. I'm getting seasoned. That's what I'm getting.
mm-hmm,
But you're gonna all those people are gonna be gone, and I already see it. I see especially women between the ages of like 45 and say six, like retirement age, getting pushed out, and it's really disturbing to me. And I'm seeing this like new generation of millennial leaders who I'm, you guys are smart, you guys are intelligent, you're very educated, but there's no substitution for experience in life. There really isn't. And, I had an opportunity to go like into leadership in my 30s, and I knew I was not ready. I wasn't ready for that. And so I said no. Um, Partly because I also knew like it wasn't that I personally wasn't ready. It was also that I knew that people were not ready for what I had to say at that table. So but the new generation of leaders are coming, a new generation of workers. And again, if the current like leaders don't understand that and don't work towards like trying to shift their culture into a compassionate leadership sort of style, then I don't know if their companies will survive because they will not be able to attract people to work there. Or it'll be the type of place that people go to get a break and then they move on.
mm-hmm.
What's
Um,
interesting, oh, I'm sorry, Becky.
no, go ahead.
What's interesting is to me is you both touched on how brilliant people in this industry can be, how good you can make a life for yourself working in e-discovery in any capacity. What I've seen in 20 years is huge evolution in analytics, in the tools used for forensics to keep up with the different technology that keeps finding itself in, legal holds,
Mhm.
and the way people can communicate, Slack, Teams, and zero advancement in the way project management teams are run and the way project management teams are treated. The only, I think, change is that there is more access to the PMs, but no real change in the way project management teams are run, are protected, are taught boundaries and how to do it in a professional way. That has not changed. It is the same story since 2008 when I started to today, that, still not showering, still
Mm-hmm.
sitting here. It's still been all day and I haven't eaten yet. I don't know if I can, I'm going to the gym, but I'll have my phone. I'm going to my kids' thing, but I'll have my laptop. That hasn't changed. And I don't know why. I don't know why. We have brilliant teams in India and the Philippines that can support clients in the overnight hours in Australia. There's all kinds of different ways that you can build a project management team to support clients, and give, all of your staff in country and out a life. Give them back a life. Let them know that you care enough about them to do that, to model your business. And if it's like, oh, it's not going to be profitable enough, I don't believe you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe you,
Prove
right?
it.
Yes, I don't believe you. So yeah, we just what's going to happen, and Becky, you are correct. Um, these millennials are you know, they're going to do what they do. But the Gen Zers they ain't fooling with this, right? They're not, they're already setting, but they're coming in like, yeah, no, I'm not
Mm-hmm.
gonna do that. And so as a wise woman named Jill once said, let go or be dragged, right? Um, a union is coming on y'all.
Oh
It's
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
let that happen to y'all,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So you leaders out there, you don't want to change, unions coming.
Yeah.
There's a workplace psychological safety act that's trying to get passed in all 50 states that will
Yep.
hold people accountable for bullying in the workplace.
Hmm.
So for the folks who are listening that have ever been at work and experienced any level of bullying or just all out rudeness from a coworker, and then went to your supervisor about it only to hear that there's nothing that can be done because that person is too important to the organization, eventually, mm, eventually those things are going to get you sued.
Mm-hmm.
So what can we do, right? Does
Yeah.
it really need to be the threat of litigation? Does it really need to be that a law has to be passed in order for humans to be human to each other? Can't we just, can't we all just get along? Can't we all love,
Can't,
right? Like,
can't
what
we
is,
just
I don't
do the
understand the
right?
problem. To the
It's
right
the
thing to
golden
do.
rule.
Yes.
Treat others as you would like to be treated.
And
Another
others,
thing,
not just the client, right?
right?
And that
Right.
is always the capacity in which that phrase, that golden rule, is shoved down the throats of the project management team. Treat the
Right.
client like you want to be treated. What about me?
Right. Right.
Right? Why don't I matter?
Yeah.
Eventually, these people are going to rise up. There's going to be some kind of like revolution. And then what's going to happen to our industry? It's going to implode.
Yeah. It will.
And we
Maybe
can
that's
say
what needs to
it
happen.
with some coaching, or
Yeah.
maybe,
I mean,
but again, you have to want it, right? You have to want
Right.
to save your business.
well, and that's why we're starting this conversation. Um, because I think we all know that change from within the inside meets a lot of resistance. So, for us, being on the outside, we feel we're here to give a voice to everyone that feels the fear, the real fear, because we're not being dramatic here. Like, I've known people who have had old employers like texting them threats of suing them.
Mhm.
I like there are some of I've heard some of the most craziest things. And so I understand the fear and I don't blame people for not wanting to speak out. And that's why we offer our form people to share anonymously. We do not collect emails. We don't get your name if you don't want to give it to us. Um, and so, yeah, I don't know. Like, we're planning to start giving a voice to these things and starting a conversation. And like our intention is to, uplift and empower you to make you feel seen. But at the end of the day, if you take away anything from this conversation, let it be that you're not alone. Like, we understand. We want to hear from you. We want to help you. We want to inspire you to begin making small changes, subversive changes that can create a ripple in this industry. I believe that if we all get on the same page about what we need from our work environment, then we can then start taking small steps, actionable steps towards receiving that. Um, so yeah, that's my take. And I don't know if you guys want to go ahead and land this plane. This is not the beginning, or this is not the end of this conversation. This was really just the scratch of the surface to acknowledge the suffering that's out there. And from here, we want to go into things that can help you. We want to go into solutions and support. And, I don't know. Do you guys want to do the first Dear Friend
Yes.
segment?
Yes, please, and thank you.
Okay. Okay. Wait for it. So, anyways, you guys got my diatribe. We're here to support you. We love you. And every episode, we want to do this. So, but we need your help. We need you to participate. We need you to fill out the form. It's on our LinkedIn. Or you can visit, like if you want to reach out to us separately, you can DM us each on
Put
LinkedIn.
it in the show notes.
We'll have it in the show notes as well. But we're going to do this, dear friend. Send us your craziest stories. Send us
God.
what do you want to tell us? Like, tell us the stories. We want to hear them. I promise you nothing is going to really shock me. But okay. But so I saw this already. I don't know if Jill and Renee have. So I'm just going to read this. Now, this person included info that any sleuth could use to put together 2 and 2. So I'm going to sort of edit and not share the whole thing. I'm only going to share one because this person provided several examples. This person's been in the industry over 10 years. They provided several examples of things that have happened to them or that are they consider to be just wow. So this person says there's a lot of taboo topics in this industry. And it is just simply ugly, for a lack of a better word, I guess. What people are willing to put up with and what people in management positions of leadership allow to happen or turn a blind eye to. I'm not even talking about the day-to-day demands of work, really. I guess I'm just talking about what happens on our own teams, which we've all experienced that. We work in challenging data sets and have to tolerate demanding clients. And then why, when we're dealing with clients, do we have to worry about how others that we work with treat us as well? Aren't we all seemingly pointing in the same direction? This is what I'm saying. Same team, friend. Same team. Like, why are you coming for me? Let's do this together.
Friendly fire.
Right. Not necessary.
Anyways, so I'm just going to tell you guys one of the examples our dear viewer left. Are you ready, Renee? I can't wait to see her. I'm dying. I've been dying all day to get you guys' reaction. Okay. So being, what's this person say? The vendor that I worked for, working consistently 60-hour work weeks in the office, they made us clean office toilets and take out the garbage on our way home from work because reliable people to come in and clean our office was just too hard to find. This was a senior VP. So they basically, can you imagine working in the office and you're doing like 60-hour weeks working on, insane casework, and your SVP is like, "Oh, hey, we actually had a problem finding a company to come and do custodial work. Are you buying that?
No.
So we aren't going to pay that. We're going to have you guys do it on your way out the office." Now, I was not shocked by this, quite frankly, because to me, in my experience, like, this is so on brand for leadership, like the bad leadership out there in ediscovery. Like, they literally You are like the low man on the totem pole, and they want you cleaning people's shitty toilets on your way out the door. Like, what's your reaction to that? I was like, first of all, that's like a whole nother job. So how much are you
Mm-hmm.
paying? How much are you paying me to do that? Like, then we can talk about. Also, is there a sign up sheet? Because Mr. SVP, I don't see your name anywhere on here. You go first. How about
Right.
that?
Like, again, why should the employee be held responsible for the higher levels of the organization's inability to get someone to clean the flipping toilet? Like, what? What? Not for nothing. When I was at a very large vendor and I saw hair in the microwave, I cleaned the microwave because I didn't want to get hair in my food. But nobody asked me to do that. I saw it and I did it because I felt like doing it. But
Yeah.
to ask people, like, if you know you don't have that need filled, do it yourself.
Hey,
Mm-hmm.
Show your
listen,
team that you're willing to go in there so that they don't go into the bathroom and see somebody else's business. You do it.
I mean, all I thought about was being in a law firm and being part of the legal assistant pool, and they have Happy Thursday. And guess who gets to clean up after all the lawyers after they all get drunk in the middle of the day in the office?
And
The legal
hands,
assistants, the secretaries, they're all cleaning up after these people. Like, uh, I spent how much of my education for what?
yeah,
But
that's
also
gross.
like, but also like, that's a whole different like there are people, listen, I'm not saying anything about custodians. Like, I
Nope.
personally, I love to clean. Cleaning is therapeutic for me, and I know that there are people who are professional cleaners who are like freaking magicians. That's like a
Mhm.
whole skill set that I don't have. I could not go into a commercial real estate place and clean. I wouldn't even know where to start. What are you doing? Like, I I can't even tell you guys how I would have rage quit. I would have, I would have,
It's a
I like,
respect thing
I,
again. It's respect, right?
yeah,
Like you
it's
wouldn't ask,
respect.
if you wouldn't ask the CEO to do it, and you wouldn't ask your general counsel to do it, and you wouldn't ask your number one salesperson to do it, then don't ask the PM
Yeah,
Or anyone else.
or
right.
anyone else.
Like if
Hire a
you can't,
company. Here we go
like
with
if
the
you
greed
can't,
again. Here we go
if
with the
you
greed again. That's what I'm
Exactly.
talking about.
if you can't afford a custodial company to come and clean your office, like how
Don't
are you
pat
in
people.
business, bro? Like
Mhm.
I'm
Right. Then maybe you guys
that's
should
how
all be remote.
I felt that way about this never happened to me, and I think partly because it was so not like it can't even come my way. Like when they send people traveling and they make you sleep in the same room as your
Oh,
coworker,
Mm-mm.
like
Mm-mm.
again, if you can't afford two rooms at a $200 a night hotel, then I don't need to go on that trip. They these are things that
where's the common
like
sense?
what
That's
is
what
what
I
is
want to
happening?
say. Here's, you know what I've noticed? Here's what I know. You and I notice, and what I think actually people at these organizations need. They need a setup like it is in like public service. Having a chief of staff, somebody with a logic, like simple logic, who can say to that leader, no, they're going to revolt if you do that. So let's find, I found, here's a couple places I'm getting quotes. This is what we're going to do. And this is what I respected when I worked at Ohio State, dealing with like chiefs of staff,
Mhm.
because their leaders would get crazy ideas like this, and they would be the ones to like rein them back in. Yo, you want to revolt? Because that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Good.
What I don't want to know is, I mean, I hope to God none of the people who are asked to remove garbage out of an office or clean a toilet or minorities, because there's another connotation there that's just,
Well,
Hmm.
you know there were. You know it. You just know it. Like, to me, you know,
It doesn't matter because it's just foul,
we just have
right?
shame. Like
But there's
these are these
a
types
whole
of
other
people,
level.
yeah, these types of people who can fix their mouth to say that to somebody, they don't have any shame. It's like, what's your shame? I mean, I know I have an extra lot of it from going to Catholic school, growing up Catholic my whole life. Like we have shame, you know, that's on lock. I would never, ever, if that was like the CEO was like saying that, best believe my VP ass would be in there scrubbing the toilet, cussing him out, looking for a new job the next day so that my team didn't have to do it.
Right.
I just, I read this and I was like, Renee would never. She would
No,
never.
no, I really wouldn't.
But yeah, that's our dear friend letter. Listen, friend, we don't have any advice for you that does not involve you rage quitting. Um,
Right.
and I hope that
Absolutely the
at
fuck not.
right. And if you are still at that place, please reach out to us. We coach people and we will redo your resume and we will connect you with recruit. We will get you out of there. We be saving people. We really do. So so yeah. Sorry, friend. Listen, and you know, here's the thing. Like what I love about the e-discovery community is people have really good sense of humor. It's like we laugh through the pain. So you see
Mhm.
the Gates dogfish or whatever, he's got that account where he makes those memes about e-discovery. And some of them are like, they just, it's like, oh, we're all laughing at our pain together. And that actually
Hmm.
feels good. So I don't know, maybe one day we can get him to come on this. I don't know. I think
That'd be
I'm
fun.
connected. I'm
That would be
connected to him.
great.
I just wonder like what's his creative process and how does he get away with it? Like,
Hmm.
you know
He
what I'm
doesn't care.
saying? Do
He
they,
doesn't,
huh?
he doesn't care.
Well, yeah, yeah. And hopefully he's that good that
Yeah.
nobody's, and that's another thing, guys. Like if you're really good, um, use your powers for good. Like if you are a beloved employee and you're really good at your job, use your powers for good. Advocate for other people. I promise you that energy will come back to you. You will build a team of people who will probably love you forever. Hi, Renee. Anyways. So yeah,
Speak
so
to the
that's it.
person who asked, like, we don't use names, so if you recognize yourself in that description of the despicable act,
Mhm.
I just want to speak to you for a little bit. As a leader, you are a servant. You are the servant. They need you. You don't need, it's not, you don't reach this level and then think, oh, I get to boss people around now. Your responsibility is to the people who report to you. You become their servant. Servant leadership is the only way you will be successful in business from this moment of time that we're in going forward. The folks with the fear-based leadership, they starting to die out. It's not as popular. People are fighting back. Go through Instagram for about 30 minutes and you will see it. There's a dude who says he has a PhD in corporate BS. He made himself a little, I mean, he teaches you how to stand up for yourself in a professional way. This is what's coming for you. You're a dinosaur. You're dying out. Accept. And if you need some help, we can help you. We can help coach you. We can teach you how not to be dumb enough to ask your team to clean the toilet.
Right.
Please
Yeah,
let us help.
because well, and
Please.
let's be real. This is a small industry. We all know names in different places. We know stories about people at different firms, vendors,
Mhm.
whatever. There are people who are notorious and not in good ways in this industry. Don't get your name on that list. I'm
Please.
just
No.
saying.
Mm-mm,
I'm just saying.
mm-mm. You
So
know,
we
the
feel
interesting,
like do we what?
no, I was going to say, when people invent, when project managers and other staff members at vendors go from vendor to vendor, they know that they're going to buck up against the same clients, right? The clients are the clients, they're always going to be the same. So if you have a project manager that leaves your organization and goes to another vendor, you need to check yourself, because that means you're failing.
Yeah.
Because they're going to see the same clients over there. They're not running from the client, they're running from you. Right?
Yeah.
I mean,
And sometimes running from the client.
sometimes running from the
Because
client.
let's be real, clients are not off the hook. They're notorious. Some of them and their names, specific firms, specific people at specific firms are notorious across the industry, and everybody runs when they see their
Wrong.
name.
You ain't wrong, but it's the way the organization handles those
Exactly.
toxic people that makes the difference.
If they allow it. Yep.
As a
How do you
leader,
allow
you
people?
don't allow, you just do. Your team needs you. You are their, again, you serve them. Please remember, you serve them.
Well, ladies, this is a good call.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Toilets.
and we're gonna continue this episode, or we're gonna continue the conversation probably into the next episode, where we'll dive into more practical strategies, things that you'll be able to use to support yourself, to support your colleagues, in this tough environment. But no matter what, know that you've got some cheerleaders over here. You have some people who see you, and you're not alone. It sucks, and it doesn't have to be this way. And I think collectively, if we come together, we can change it. So that's the mission. Okay, ladies, it's been fun. Looking forward to the next one.
Yep, as always.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of eDiscover Tea. We hope today's conversation helped you feel seen, heard, and validated in the challenges you face in the workplace. You are not alone, and together we're building a community where we can share our struggles, lift each other up, and drive meaningful change. If this episode resonated with you, please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you can join us for future episodes where we'll continue these important discussions. Whether we reach one person or thousands, our efforts here will be worth it. If you have stories to share or are in need of support and we can help, fill out the form linked in the show notes. We'd love to hear from you. On behalf of Jill, Renee, and myself, thank you for listening, and we'll see you in the next episode.